The radical release. 6 counterintuitive truths about forgiveness that have nothing to do with the other person when we are wronged. Our primitive limbic system screams for a counterstrike. This is the natural man, a biological threat response designed to demand immediate equity or harbor resentment as a protective shield. Yet, there is a profound psychological irony in holding on to anger. It acts as a systemic venom that remains in our own circulation, eroding our well-being while the offender remains largely unaffected. Forgiveness is rarely a gift we give to a perpetrator. It is a divine mandate for our own survival. It is the tactical decision to purge the tenseness of guilt and bitterness to make room for a higher moral frequency. 1. Withholding forgiveness is the greater sin. It is a startling theological concept that withholding release can be a more significant transgression than the original offense. This is not about the severity of the act, but the state of the soul. In 1838, W. Phelps betrayed Joseph Smith, providing testimony that led to the prophet's brutal incarceration in Liberty Jail. Yet, when Phelps later pleaded for reconciliation, Smith's response was immediate and radical. According to ancient wisdom reflected in modern scripture, when we refuse to forgive, there remains in us the greater sin. We attempt to usurp the role of a universal judge, a position we are neither qualified nor equipped to hold. By occupying the judge's bench, we separate ourselves from intuitive peace. I, the Lord, will forgive whom I will forgive, but of you it is required to forgive all men. 2. The vital distinction, a gift versus a contract. One of the greatest barriers to letting go is the fear that forgiving someone necessitates immediate reconciliation or renewed trust. It does not. Forgiveness is about the past, trust is about the future. Forgiveness is a gift of grace. Trust is a social contract that must be earned through consistent behavior. Forgiveness, an internal surrender of resentment, mandatory, immediate, and concerned with releasing the past. Trust, a cautious physical responsibility earned over time and concerned with predicting future safety. You can forgive the thief who stole your shoes while simultaneously deciding they aren't invited back into your home until they have demonstrated a shift in character. 3. You aren't condoning the act. Forgiving does not mean narrating the offense as acceptable. To condone is to treat a wrong as okay. To forgive is to acknowledge the wrong occurred while refusing to let the venom stay in your system. Setting healthy boundaries and seeking justice, whether through legal channels or social accountability, is entirely compatible with a forgiving heart. True release allows you to pursue a legal remedy without the gall of bitterness clouding your judgment. It is about refusing to let a past injury dictate the architecture of your future. 4. Forgetting as neural reconsolidation. The adage "forgive and forget" is often dismissed as impossible. However, spiritual forgetting is a fine art of displacement rather than amnesia. It is what psychologists might call neural reconsolidation. The memory remains, but its edge of pain is neutralized. The philosopher William George Jordan noted that trying to forget an injury only deepens its vitality in the mind. True forgetting is the process of displacing the trauma with new, constructive focus. True forgetting really means finer memory. It is displacing one memory by another, like a well-treated ink stain. Time helps wonderfully. 5. The pride of self-condemnation. The most destructive burden we carry is often the refusal to forgive ourselves. This is a subtle form of pride, an assumption that our personal standard of justice is higher than that of the infinite. If you continue to punish yourself for a stain on your shirt after you have sought to clean it, you are confusing the garment with the wearer. You are not the stain. W. Phelps could only write the powerful hymn Praise to the Man because he stopped seeing himself as a traitor and started seeing himself as a redeemed friend. Refusing self-forgiveness is a worldly sorrow that leads to self-loathing. Godly sorrow leads to reparative action and growth. 6. Understanding the secret history. Hostility usually evaporates when we move from seeing an offender as a malevolent creature to seeing them as a struggling child of God. Every person acts from a place of limited experience, unhealed trauma, and internal suffering. Empathy is the ultimate tool for release. It allows us to view the threat through the lens of their own secret history. As Henry Wadsworth Longfellow suggested, if we knew the hidden suffering of those who hurt us, it would be enough to disarm all our hostility. Seeing the humanity in the offender doesn't excuse them, it simply frees you from the burden of hating them. Conclusion: the daily decision forgiveness is not a one-time event. It is a daily decision to act in a way that is helpful and loving, regardless of fleeting emotional turbulence. It is a discipline of the soul that surrenders the arm of flesh in favor of a deeper trust in a higher justice. In 1840, as the literal war in Missouri was ending, Joseph Smith told the repentant Phelps, "Come on, dear brother, since the war is past. For friends at first are friends again at last." As you reflect on the hurts you still carry, ask yourself, if the war is past, why are you still carrying the armor?